Ready to take your woodworking game to the next level without breaking the bank? Join me while I show you how to craft the ultimate adjustable cross-cut sled without emptying your wallet. That's right, under 75 bucks. Welcome back to Victory Woodworks with Vic, and I'm Vic. In this video, we will be building a cross-cut sled, not to be confused with a cut-off sled. Cross-cut sleds are important because they allow you to cut your parts more accurately. What's the difference between a cross-cut and a cut-off sled? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, a cross-cut sled and a cut-off sled are both jigs used in woodworking to make precision cuts, but they serve slightly different purposes. A cross-cut sled is primarily used for making accurate cross-cuts on the table saw. It consists of a platform that rides in the miter slots of the table saw and has a fence perpendicular to the blade. This allows woodworkers to cross-cut wide boards or panels safely and accurately. The sled typically has a built-in stop block or adjustable stop to ensure consistent lengths of cuts. On the other hand, a cut-off sled is designed for making repeated precision cuts on small work pieces or for trimming pieces to length. It usually has a smaller, but not always, base compared to a cross-cut sled and is often used for making cuts at specific lengths. Cut-off sleds are commonly used when making repetitive cuts on smaller pieces of wood, such as cutting dowels, trim pieces, or small parts for woodworking projects. In summary, while both sleds aid in making accurate cuts on the table saw, a cross-cut sled is primarily used for cross-cutting larger panels or boards, while a cut-off sled is more focused on making repeated cuts on smaller work pieces or trimming pieces to specific lengths. Now let's talk about a few design considerations. These are what work for me. You do you. The base should be about 22 by 20 inches because that's a good size and less than a quarter sheet of plywood. The fence should be about 3 inches tall to support a T-track for the flip stop and a measuring guide. The X factor here is squareness adjustability. We are going to incorporate an adjustable fence for squareness. This one feature sets it apart from other sleds. We need this because if the sled ever goes out of square, you can readjust it simply. The materials you will need for the build are the following. It's going to start out with a disclaimer. I know this list may sound like a PowerTech endorsement, but I am not sponsored by PowerTech in any way. I bought all these parts with my own money and found all these products on Amazon. It's kind of like Amazon knew what I was looking for and showed me the links, so I just had to buy it. All product links in the video are in the video description. First up is the HDPE miter bar from PowerTech. This 4-pack here costs about 23 bucks, but we're only going to use one of them, so it's about $8. Next up is the fence flip top stop, also from PowerTech. This costs about $14. Probably the most expensive part in this build is going to be this double T-track, also from PowerTech, which allows you to put in your flip stop and also have a measuring guide in here. This is $31. We also have a 2-pack of these knurled knobs. We're going to use these for locking down our adjustment screw. These were $6 for 2. Got a quarter sheet of plywood we got from the Big Orange store. It was about 15 bucks. This is half inch, 24 by 24. You also have a scrap 3/4 inch plywood, which was free to me because I happen to have it stacked over there. Other hardware that you're going to need are a couple number 8 1 1/4 inch screws for the adjustment block, a 3.5 inch 1/4 inch screw for the fence pivot, a 1/4 inch 20 T-nut. We're also going to need a 1/4 inch 20 nut and a couple washers. Total cost was about 75 bucks. The tools you would need for this project are as follows. A table saw to make the cuts in the base and the fence. If you don't have a table saw, then why are you making this sled? You're going to need a drill or drill press to drill out for the pivot bolt and adjustment block, a screwdriver for screwing in a couple of the screws, and possibly a wrench to hold the bolt while we're tightening it down. Now let's build the sled. The order of operation for building the sled are as follows. First, we're going to cut the plywood to dimension. Second, we're going to glue and screw where it's required. Third, we're going to drill a couple holes for bolts and screws. And fourth, we're going to assemble it. Now let's get to it. Let's start with the base and runner sub-assembly. Cut the base to 22 by 20 inches. Next, attach the runner to the base by inserting the runner into the miter slot. Elevate the runner by using a few washers to lift it proud of the saw top. Adjust the base to the runner by using the table saw fence as a guide, allowing a little extra overhang by where the blade will cut. Secure the runner to the base using super glue and screws. If for some reason your super glue does not stick to your HDPE runner, use the tape and super glue trick to temporarily attach them. Then screw your runner to the base. Remove screws and tape if you chose that method and reattach the runner. Next, let's cut the fence sub-assembly pieces and glue up. Cut the fence pieces to size, which is 3 inch by 22 inch. Glue and clamp or screw the fence pieces together. Once the glue is dried, cut a thin kerf the length of the fence to accommodate the double T-track. It has a slight fin in the middle, so you have to make a little clearance for that. Chamfer the front bottom edge to allow for dust and chips. Now let's make the adjustment block. Cut a piece of plywood to 2 inch by 2 inch by 3/4. Drill out the adjustment block directly in the center, or 1 inch from each side, to accommodate a 1/4 T-track bolt and a little clearance, maybe a 32nd or so. Now that all the parts are done, let's assemble the sled. First up is the adjustment assembly. Locate the assembly block in the rear left-hand corner of the base. Apply some glue and screw up from the bottom to secure the block. Make sure to countersink the screws to prevent interference with and scratching of the table saw top. Let's finish machining the fence and install it. On the left back side of the fence, route a 2-inch long groove 1 inch up from the base for a small section of T-track to hold the adjustment T-track bolt. Say that 3 times fast. This groove should be centered 1 inch above the base. Drill a hole through the fence from the top to the bottom of the right side, about 1 to 2 inches from the end, to accommodate the 1/4 by 3.5 inch screw. This is your pivot bolt. Place the fence on the base about 3 inches from the back of the base and parallel to it. Insert a pencil or awl or other tool to mark where the hole will intersect the base. Drill out the spot for the T-nut. Counterbore the bottom of the base for the T-nut flange so it will not interfere or scratch your table saw top. Insert your pivot screw from the top of the fence and engage the T-nut. Make sure the screw head is countersunk below the top surface of the fence. You don't want it interfering with the T-track. Install the adjustment screw T-track bolt. Thread on a nut to lock it in place. Thread on the 2 curled lock nuts. Push the bolt through the adjustment block. And thread on the knob. Install the fence cap T-track on the top of the fence and screw it into the fence. You may need to cut out a section of the T-track thin to make a clearance for the pivot bolt. Install the measuring tape. Let's test out the sled and fine-tune the accuracy. Using the square against a saw curve and the fence, rotate the fence until it's just touching the square. Rotate the adjustment screw until it matches the fence location. If you really think it's necessary, do the 5-cut method to see how accurate your sled is and adjust accordingly. In my case, I am fine with matching the squareness of my square, but you do you. Now that we have built a cross-cut sled, what is its importance in woodworking? A cross-cut sled is one of the cornerstones of precise woodworking, ensuring accurate cuts every time. Its stability and versatility make it indispensable for projects requiring intricate joinery or uniform pieces. It also provides a safer and more controlled cutting environment and minimizes the risk of errors and accidents. Building a well-crafted cross-cut sled yourself not only enhances efficiency, but also boosts confidence in tackling complex woodworking tasks. With a cross-cut sled, woodworkers can elevate their craftsmanship and achieve professional level results effortlessly. Here are some key features of our sled design. The base is customizable based on your needs. Ours is about 22 by 20 inches square, but yours can be any size you like. Our fence supports a T-track for a flip-top stop and measuring guide. The X factor is the adjustable fence. This one feature sets it apart from all other sleds. This way, if the sled ever gets out of square, you can easily adjust it. In conclusion, some thoughts on this project. Crafting your own cross-cut sled is not just about creating a tool or jig. It's about honing your skills, ensuring precision in your woodworking projects, and ultimately fostering a deeper connection with your craft. By building and using your own custom sled, you're not just improving your efficiency in the workshop, you're investing in your growth as a woodworker. So, embrace the challenge, enjoy the process, and let your creativity shine through every cut. You're welcome for that pun. If you found this video helpful, learned something new or enjoyable, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more woodworking tutorials, tips, and project ideas. It's your support that fuels our passion for creating quality content, and we look forward to sharing more woodworking with you in the future. Thank you for watching and spending time with me at Victory Woodworks. Stay passionate and see you in the next video.